Hey everyone, welcome to Infinite Realms again. Just talking about what's going on in the world, and this is Tamira Morrison apparently hates The Mandalorian. I think this is being taken way too seriously. Um, I finally found the quotes on comicbook.com, and you know, let's go over the quotes and I'll go over what I think is actually going on here. At Supernova Comic Con, someone asked him about being in The Mandalorian Season 3, and he says, quote, I was supposed to be in The Mandalorian Season 3, but nobody rang me. I was waiting by the phone and waiting for the phone call in New Zealand, waiting and waiting to give up. This sounds like he's kidding around. I mean, would he really be waiting by the phone for a phone call to reprise Boba Fett? I mean, doesn't he have other things to do? Yeah. I mean, I think that was pure joking. Now, this might be a little more tongue in cheek because, there is some stuff said here that people are really grasping onto. All right. He continued on with, well, that Mando guy stole a few chapters of my book. It was painful watching him turn up with some black new lethal sword, and the way he turned up in my book of Boba Fett, he just destroyed everybody. I'm sure this guy is running the show, but I couldn't say anything. I'm not the writer. I have to bear it, I guess. I think you know, I'll be the one here to be blunt about this. I think a lot of people, including myself, thought the book of Boba Fett was very disjointed because right in the middle of it, you have Din Djarin doing what is this essentially what one of the main plot points for season 3 of his show in the middle of the book. And I think he's kind of half joking here about that being a thing, and I could see that. I could see if you've watched Tamara Morrison in interviews, I could see him doing that. He kind of jokes around, and on top of that, I mean, he's not saying anything that's false. I mean, the whole show was very disjointed. I think you could re-edit that show in quite a bit and get something really good out of it. But the whole show was disjointed from the start. It was doing flashbacks that didn't make any sense to the story we were being told. And on top of that, then you had this big disruption in the middle of it showing Mando season 2.5 for no reason. It was weird and messed up, and there are conflicting stories about why that happened. There's stories that Disney interfered and said, we got to get Grogu and Din Djarin back together ASAP. That's too much merchandising. And then there's other stories that say Jon Favreau said that it was always supposed to happen. And I cannot find confirmation on either one of these. So I don't know. I'm inclined to believe that Disney interfered because that makes the most sense if you think about it. But yeah, the clickbaiters are grabbing a hold of this Tamara Morrison quote and really running with it, saying, "Oh, he hates Star Wars. He hates Star Wars." I doubt that very seriously. I mean, I think he doesn't like. I think it would be fair to say he doesn't like how the Book of Boba Fett turned out, as much as most of us don't. He said it so much in interviews at the time. He said he's talking too much. Boba Fett doesn't talk. This guy talks too much. So, I mean, do you think Tamara Morrison was kind of joking around, but has a little bit of truth in there? I don't think he was hating on Star Wars. I'll say that much. So, just wanted to pass that along and taco about it. All right, that's going to wrap it up for this edition of Infinite Realms. Just a few thoughts on what the latest clickbait is. All right, don't forget to like and subscribe.